The next scene is kind of like a conclusion of Edward's story in this show. He improved according to Lady Denham. He had been loyal, sticking by her side in season 3, I would say. He followed her rules to the best that he can. Even though, he still did that stupid thing with Augusta and trapping her and convincing her that he is in love with her when he wasn't. Like Lady Denham said in the scene, like he could have sex with her before marriage and that could have ruined her and ruined his family reputation, but he did not. So now she's gonna be a clergyman. But Edward was kind of like a little bit hesitant. He was like, what? Like, this is the plan that you have for me? I think he would rather continue to live at his aunt's house. But he is an adult. Like, he should be making living. Like, he should be a man, Like, man up. Like, grow up. Like, live by yourself. But I guess this is a good start in the right direction for his future, and hopefully he will continue to improve himself and not go backward in his path to manhood.
Who could have foreseen our efforts to unite Xander and Miss Hayward ended up uniting us instead?
Truth be told, I'm so bitterly disappointed that we failed in that regard.
They were like meddling in Charlotte and Alexander's relationship, and that's one thing I love about this couple. I thought that was funny how they tried to push put Charlotte and Alexander gently together as a couple, but that didn't work out. And then instead we get to see Samuel and Lady Susan fall in love with each other. But now we're hoping, right? We're hoping that Charlotte and Alexander will end up together before this episode ends.
I know it's ungracious of me, but I do wish your brother wasn't marrying Lady Lydia.
What do you mean?
Thank you very much. Lady Susan said the words. I'm like, hello, somebody needs to say it. Samuel like, what? So Alexander is single. So this is like the turning point, the climax of the story of Alexander and Charlotte. Like, we are climbing up to the climax, like the big moment gonna happen. I'm like, let's go. Georgiana concluded with Harry, and she made it right with Arthur, even though we didn't hear her say anything to Arthur when she announced that she was leaving for London. She did say oh, forgive me, for how I have acted lately and the mess, the drama with the Monroe family. And Arthur was smiling while he was listening to her, and that was an indirect signal, the friendship between Arthur and Georgiana will be okay. It's okay, because now Arthur has the freedom to go talk to Harry in this scene and just to make it right with him and just to clear the air and hopefully to move forward in a positive direction for these two men. They didn't want to lose each other. They didn't want to lose their relationship. I think if I remember right, Harry said that he thought that he lost his friendship with Arthur when he was engaged to Georgiana, that complicated, messy triangle relationship. But now in the scene, they were able to clear the air and just start fresh and to be together, even though they cannot be together so boldly in public. But that's the thing. That's what they wanted to do, and that what makes them happy, which is each other. It was a surprise to see Otis again in season 3. I thought it would have been a different guy, but it's great that Otis was the one. He was always the one for Georgiana. Georgiana went to London to see him, and the moment that he saw her and the moment that she saw him, it was magnetic. It was pure connection and love. They still have that love for each other, and I think it's just a beautiful moment for this couple. Like Miss Harmon said, Otis respected Georgiana and respected the engagement of Georgiana and Harry, and he didn't want to like get involved. He didn't want to pull Georgiana away from Harry. So he was super shocked to see Georgiana right now in this scene. But kudos to Georgiana for making this move and just to ask him like, hey, like, are you still in with me? Like, do you still want to be with me? I thought that was a beautiful full circle moment. Otis brought Georgiana mom to her, and Georgiana mom brought Georgiana back to Otis. I thought that was a beautiful full circle moment. Once again, it's really nice to see this couple, and now to have the freedom to marry each other. Back in season 1, like Sydney had the worst support for this couple. Like, he didn't support Georgiana to be with Otis and such. So it's a good thing that Sydney is not in the picture for this part. But it's really nice that these two get to be together, be happy and marry off, and have this beautiful future together as a married couple. And this is the man that truly makes her happy, and her mom knows it, Charlotte knows it, the Parker family knows it. It's about time.
Xander! Xander!
What on earth is it, sir?
Mrs. Wheatley, where is my brother?
She went to the stables about an hour ago.
Leo, how fast can you run?
Samuel is so excited. Lady Susan is so excited. They're like, wait, this is our moment to medal once again and make it happen for Charlotte and Alexander. And I just had a random thought just now, like, it's so cute though that Augusta and Leonora will be like kind of like officially like Lady Susan nieces once she marry Samuel.
Goodbye, Charlotte. Do let us know when you're safely arrived.
It'll be some days before I reach Ireland. I'll write as soon as I get there.
I packed a seed cake for your journey. And a pork pie.
That is kind of you indeed, Arthur.
Gotta love Arthur. He loved food, he loved enjoying life, and you know, he made sure that Charlotte is okay and that she is prepared for the trip and that she has enough food to keep her energized and well fed.
Please send our warmest regards to your sister and Captain Fraser.
Of course.
We will miss you, my dear.
And I will miss you. More than I have words to say.
This is an emotional scene, I would say. It reminds me of the emotional scene when Charlotte left Sanditon at the end of season 1, when she already broke off with Sydney, and she was really sad to go. And now this scene, once again, she is going to Ireland this time, but still, it's a sad moment. This is an emotional scene, and we can, you know, send that vibe. The Parker family is sad to see her go, and she is sad to leave Sanditon once again.
Thank you.
They already started this comparison between the end of season 1 and the end of season 3, the writers. I'm not saying it in a bad way, but it just reminded me of the end of season 1. And it's just a journey. I love the journey. I love the character development of Charlotte. A lot of things have changed, right? From the end of season 1 and now in this episode, a different man, a different life changes happen. Charlotte went through a lot. It's the same emotion, like she is so sad to leave Sanditon. She loves Sanditon, but she just had enough of the memory that she has in Sanditon. Not only Sydney, but on top of that, Alexander. And she's like, I don't have a chance with Alexander. She thinks that it's over for good with Alexander. Now she's riding off to Ireland. That carriage moment, and it reminded me of that carriage moment at the end of season 1. And she's like, it's over with Sydney for good. Like, he's gonna marry off that annoying lady. But it's just an interesting comparison. But it's just a different vibe, you know. It's a different man. Sydney was different. I mean, he is a different guy compared to Alexander, and so much thing has happened ever since season 1. It's definitely a beautiful comparison, I would say. That beautiful journey of Charlotte, and it has been a joy to watch her stories from the first episode of season 1 until episode 6 of season 3. And now the big moment is coming. I'm really excited to talk about it.
What is it, Liv?
Charlotte is still riding off to Ireland. She is on the way to Ireland. She's just like, you know, passing to the border of Sanditon. She is not that far away just yet. But at the same time, Leonora, her dad, she is telling him about what Lady Susan says. Charlotte thinks that Alexander is engaged to Lydia, but he is not. Random thought, I was thinking like we would never find out if Leonora bio dad would ever like come back into her life, like down the road, you know. But for now, Leonora will always see Alexander, admires him as her real father, the father that sticks by her side and never gave up on her and took care of her and loves her and watches over her. The end of Hannah Lennox in season 2, like, it was a little bit of rough, but at the same time I was thinking like it's still like that open door, like when Hannah Lennox saw that toy shoulder on the ground that Leonora dropped by accident. I thought it was an open door that he might come back into the storyline of Leonora. But for now, Leonora is happy with her dad, Alexander. If you see the window of that carriage, like, it slowly stopped to a complete stop, so you knew like something is happening. But before that, like, we saw a little peek of a horse, and you know, your guess, my guess would be, oh, that's Alexander's horse, Hannibal. And now this is the moment. Alexander was able to catch up and get in Charlotte's way and stop her carriage and have this moment to talk to her. This is such a huge moment. Charlotte didn't even know what's going on, and she had the courage to go out there. Like, what if it's like a bad man, right? But anyway, it's a random thought. But she didn't expect Alexander, and it surprised her. He got off his horse. He's like had this like this like, I don't know what to call it, like this prince vibe, like get off his horse, walking toward her, like with this male strength, like, you know, that chivalry, and just like walk like head on, like I'm gonna say the words, I'm gonna convince her to be back with me together as a couple. But at the same time, Charlotte's like, wait, he's engaged, like why is he stopping me, like what's going on?
Mr. Colburn!
You didn't tell me you had called off your wedding.
I didn't think it would be of concern.
Nothing could be of greater concern.
Even though you're engaged to Lady Lydia.
I have to like split it up. Don't want to get into trouble with YouTube and the stupid copyright drama. But first thing first, I read an article after the season ended on TV, and there was actually like pure, like the wind, and they had to like talk loud filming this scene, so like they could like at least hear it. And then I think they had to do like a little bit of ADR afterwards just to like have the voice like full and loud when we watch it on TV. So this was like a windy day, and like they kind of like had to like yell at each other, like talk loud in the scene. But at the same time though, he was like yelling to her like because it was windy, and he wanted to make sure that she was able to hear him. And he was like, you didn't tell me like you called off the wedding. That tone was like, if you told me sooner, like we would have been a couple by now. And Charlotte, once again, she still thinks that he's engaged to Lydia.
Well, there you are mistaken. Seems for some time Lady Lydia has been conducting a secret courtship in defiance of her mother. It is him she is to marry, not me.
Then you...
The distance was like close enough, but at the same time it's like out of respect, because Charlotte's like, okay, isn't he like engaged to Lydia or not? But he finally told her like Lydia is not engaged to him, a different guy that Lydia's mom doesn't support. So that's like the full answer. Like it finally come into light, and Charlotte like started to freak out a little bit. She's like, in a good way, she was like, oh, okay, so wait, does that mean you single, I'm single? We can do this now.
I'm at liberty to marry whomsoever I choose. As it seems to you.
She is speechless. She didn't want to say it because she's like, is this true? Is this really happening? He smiled at her. He's like, we are free to marry each other. Like, we can be finally be together. And then he started to like get closer to her, and that's like a green light. Like, okay, this is really happening. Like, a kiss is coming. This is like a full circle moment. Like, it's finally happening.
You bewitched me from the very first moment we met. And ever since, my affections have not wavered. Indeed, they have only grown deeper with every second that I've spent in your company.
Did anyone have like that flashback in the mind when he said like she caught him off guard from the first time they met? And it's the flashback of like the first meeting in season 2, and I'm like, oh my god, like it's like melting me, like melting my heart. I'm like, this scene is like so awesome and sweet, and the pure love and affection that they have for one another. He is saying his feelings again to her. I wish we get to hear her say it too, you know, but he said it, he confirmed it, and it gave her a signal like, yeah, we feel the same feelings for each other.
I cannot imagine how fathomless they will be once we have shared a lifetime together.
When he said a lifetime together, it's definitely like a proposal at the same time in a way. Like, he wanted to marry her. He wanted to be with her for the rest of his life. It touched her heart. She was like, yes, this is what I want. Like, you're the man that I want to marry. She got emotional, like in a happy way. It was just a positive, emotional scene for D2. He just couldn't stop smiling. He's like, this is happening. And it's a better outcome compared to the end of episode 3 of season 3 when he confessed to her and she's like, no, like I'm marrying Ralph. But now she is single, no more Ralph in the picture. They can finally be together for the rest of their lives. Now I'm gonna show the kids, just because, you know, why not? Just for the heck of it, and hopefully no trouble with YouTube. One thing though, every review, whether there's a copyright claim or not, like I make sure that it's public to everyone and that no countries are blocked. That shows how committed I am, even though there were times where I had to like edit for like 2 or 3 times before it finally approved. And then there were many times that I had to put like a dispute. And PBS is like pretty chill. But BBC Studio is like evil. No offense. Like they gave me like the most hard time. So if I put a dispute in, hopefully PBS, you know, sees it and approve it, but they usually do. But anyway, I'm gonna pull up the kids because why not, and hopefully it worked out. Hannibal probably thinking like the horse, like you go dude, like you making the move. You guys finally did it. What a beautiful kiss, right? Alexander, he placed his hand on his cheek, and the way that they embrace each other when they kiss, it's just like that type of embrace, like they've been waiting for this moment. They've been waiting to kiss each other and be free to be together, like with no other distraction or obstacle. Ralph was like technically like holding them back to be a couple together, and now since Ralph is not in the picture and Lydia is not in the picture, Charlotte and Alexander can finally be a couple, be together. What a beautiful moment. It's so passionate. It's just full of love. I think they did a great job. I think that was a very nice way to just make it happen. Like the way that they write the scene, I thought it was a beautiful moment.
I, Georgiana Lamb, take thee, Otis Molyneux, to be my wedded husband.
This scene, random thought once again. Remember the scene in season 1, Charlotte was sitting next to Sydney at Lady Denham lunch party in honor of Georgiana, and Lady Denham was like interrogating Georgiana. She was like, oh, what's your opinion on marriage? And I think Lady Denham asked Charlotte too, but Georgiana was like, she had that opinion that believed like marriage shouldn't be like a property, like the wife shouldn't be a property to the husband in the marriage. Georgiana was hesitant in thinking about marriage and marrying a man. Like she really didn't want to, like she wanted to be independent. Now this scene with the wedding of Georgiana and Otis, I thought it was just another full circle moment. Like season 1, like she wouldn't even like think this far to marry a man, but now she is marrying a man.
To have and to hold from this day forward, for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer.
Otis is so happy. I'm happy for him. He always wanted Georgiana all along. Even though Georgiana had so many ups and downs, she found her way back to him, and it's just a very nice moment. Miss Harmon is so happy for them. She is so happy for her daughter for making the right choice of her husband, who is Otis.
Wilt thou...
I wish people were there to support them. I wish Charlotte was there to support her Georgiana wedding. But at least, you know, Miss Harmon was there, and she is technically like a witness to the marriage of Otis and Georgiana. But I guess what the most important is that Georgiana got her man. She is happy with Otis, and it finally happened.
Wilt thou have this man as thy wedded husband, to live together after God's ordinance in the holy estate of matrimony?
What a beautiful transition from Georgiana wedding to Charlotte wedding. Charlotte is so happy. Alexander is so happy. Finally, it is happening. The wedding of Alexander and Charlotte. And I'm so glad that the writers included this moment. Of course, we want to see the wedding of Charlotte and Alexander.
Wilt thou obey him and serve him, love, honor, and keep him, in sickness and in health, and, forsaking all others, keep thee only unto...
That was a beautiful glances throughout the audience, the wedding guests in the ceremony. Every Sanditon couple, I thought it was like a nice like signal to the audience, like, hey, like even though the show is ending, like these are the couples that will be together forever, you know, live happily ever after.
Him, so long as ye both shall live.
I will.
Let's go! Charlotte and Alexander are a married couple. Everyone is so happy for them. Leonora is happy to get a new mom, and Augusta is so happy to get a new aunt in Charlotte. Once again, it's really nice to see the wedding of Alexander and Charlotte. About time. They couldn't stop looking at each other. They are so in love, and I'm like, yeah, that first night as a married couple is gonna go really, really well. They are so in love, and it's just nice to see that happiness. After all they went through, this is such like a big moment, a special event, a special occasion. It's just so nice to celebrate this love story and see the wedding. I wish we get to see Charlotte's family there, at least some of them, especially her parents, but that didn't happen. But this scene, it was nice though. We get to see the wedding guests and see everyone enjoying themselves, and Charlotte saying hi to each one of them. I thought it was like a full circle moment too, and just like, you know, see where everyone is, you know, and see every couple that happened in season 3 of this show. Mary and Tom, they're doing great. Lady Dana and Mr. Price is back together as a couple. So funny. Edward was looking at that woman. Mr. Hinton had no idea, but Charlotte caught it, and I'm like, oh no, Edward, like, please don't. Hopefully, in the world of Sanditon, hopefully Edward become a good man. Hopefully he doesn't backtrack, you know. I'm like, don't do it again, dude. Like, please be a good person. Lady Susan and Samuel, I wonder if they probably haven't married yet, but They are helpful, so good for them. Happy for Lady Susan to finally find true love with Samuel. Leonora, she is excited. It can be a challenge, you know. It's nice that Leonora is very welcoming to the idea of having a new mom, and very open, very welcoming to Charlotte, to welcome her to the family and to accept her as her new mom. So that's a good thing. And they get along with each other really well. Leonora adores look up to Charlotte. And I'm sure that Leonora is super excited that her dad picked Charlotte. Georgiana is already married, so you know, she's like, girl, like now you're married too. Like it's pretty cool though when you are married, like kind of like in the same season, the same time as your best friend. I wonder if they're gonna have babies at the same time. Who knows? Augusta is talking to a different man, looks like someone her age, close to her age. And I'm like, you go, girl. Edward is in the same room, but she's like not paying any attention to Edward. So I'm like, good for you, girl. Like you deserve a better man. And I assume she will find a good man. In the world of Sanditon, after this season ends, Charlotte, of course, she's like, I said, new mom, the new aunt in the family. She's like watching out for Augusta, and she wants the best for her as well. And Augusta is so happy for Charlotte and happy for her uncle. Last but not least, the Parker kids and Mr. Whitley, which was really nice to see them at the wedding reception as well. The Parker kids, like they grew up throughout the show. It was really nice to see them at the wedding. Charlotte, she adores the little kids. Remember the scene that Charlotte had with them? I forgot which episode, but the little boat in the pond that Sydney was hanging out with his nieces and nephew, and Charlotte joined in. She always loved on those kids like her own sibling. It was nice to see that little touch in this scene. Charlotte just adoring them and really happy that they were there to celebrate this special event. Everyone is doing great, everyone is healthy and happy, and it's just a beautiful circle moment, full circle moment. And she went back to Alexander. And they had that toast, raised the champagne, that toast moment. It was just, it's so good, you know, like as it's supportive for Charlotte and Alexander to be together. It's just so good, and it's just a happy moment, and I have no other words to say, but I truly enjoyed it, and I'm happy that they were able to include the wedding at the end of this episode. First thing first, the school happened, it is built, and you see like the name of the school and Mrs. Heybourne. I'm like, nice touch. She looks so happy. Like, you want to have a job that makes you happy, right? Excited to go to work. She is happy to be a teacher, and I'm like, good for you, Charlotte.
Filling young girls' heads with ideas again, Mrs. Colburn?
I hope so.
Baby Heybourne. There were a lot of people on Twitter talking about the baby. They're like, wow, like they already have a kid like a year later. and they were talking about like, wow, like it must be like a wedding night baby, and I'm like, yep, like they probably rock it out, like rock it hard on that wedding night. But good for them. Charlotte loves children. I'm not surprised. She is her mom now. And Mr. Heybourne, he is a stay-at-home dad. I was thinking in season 2, like he was always in his office working. So in a way, like he was working at home, like remotely from his office, if that makes sense. But Charlotte, she go out of the house to go to work, to go to school and be a teacher. And that was like an indirect message to the audience, like it's okay for the wife, the mom, to be a provider to the family as well, like to go out to a job while the father, the husband, stay at home with the kids. It was that message that the writers, the show is trying to point out. It is possible, especially in today's time, like there are some stay-at-home dads. But for me personally, I always believe in equality, like especially in today's time, like we see some stay-at-home dad, but it's okay too for both the dad and the mom to get out of the house and go to work and provide for the family. It was definitely like a message, you know, throwing it out there, and also that message of like women should not be expected to stay at home all the time, to make babies and cook and clean the house. Charlotte, she making money. She is having a job as a teacher. She is doing things outside of the house, being a teacher and teaching kids, both boys and girls, to learn and to educate them. So I thought that was like an interesting indirect message that the writers, the show is trying to tell us in the very last minute ever of the show. However, I do like the idea that Mr. Heybourne support Charlotte, support her to be a teacher, to be a provider to the family, making money being a teacher. I'm sure she's getting paid. We don't know, but I assume he support her to be out of the house and to not stay at home, like to not be a stay-at-home mom. Like he support her for what she wants to do. It's nice also that Alexander is a hands-on dad. It's nice to see him, you know, very hands-on and hearing a baby. It's nice that he is very committed to the role of being a father. And actually, this baby is his first child, like by blood.
Do you really think a girl can be a lawyer? Or a doctor?
Or a writer?
I think a girl can be whatever she chooses to be.
Also, another message that the show is throwing out there in this last minute ever of the show, that women can do anything. Women can be who they want to be. It's a little bit political. It's that idea of feminist, like feminism. I always believe in equality, like men and women like should be equal. And I always believe that I don't want to like ever like downgrade or be negative toward like men nature, you know what I mean? Like I always believe that the man should still be the head of the household, like the man of the house, right? But in today's time especially, like women should still have like the equality of like, hey, do you want to be at home or do you want to go to work too? I think it's okay if both the man and the wife like have job in today's time. But at the same time, it's a good message, like reminding little girls and women watching this show, like, hey, like you can do whatever you want to do, like you can do what men can do, like just do whatever you want to do and make you happy, you know. So yeah, those are interesting, political a little bit, but I think it's just like to summarize who Charlotte is as a character and her journey and her story. Like, you know, she went through a lot, but she owned her dream. Like, she knew what she wanted to do and she chased after it. She is a teacher now. She married the love of her life, and she now has a daughter with him, and she is taking care of Leonora and Augusta and just being that good person that she is. That's the end ever of this show. I'm like, I'm a little bit emotional right now. I'm like, oh my god. This is like the second time I watched the entire season again after I watched for the first time on TV. But now I think the show is gonna air in August, I think, in the UK. So, yeah, it's just... I'm a little bit emotional, but that's the end. And yeah, it's just a beautiful ending, I would say. And I noticed that Charlotte kind of like stumbled a little bit, probably her dress. Do you notice that? I think there was an article that talked about it, and Alexander, the actor, he looked down just to make sure that, you know, there was no more like tripping, stumbling again. So they kept that in, but I noticed that little stumble that Charlotte did, and Alexander put his arm around her at that very last 3 seconds of the show. Do you see that? Beautiful moment. It's just a nice closure, especially for this couple story. There are so many open story left, like, you know, we could have dived even more in Lady Susan, and Samuel, and Dr. Fuchs, and Miss Hinkin, and all the other couple. I wonder if Georgiana already had a kid, you know, by the time. There are definitely more storylines that we could have, like, witnessed, but unfortunately it ended at episode 6 of season 3. Yeah, this is the end. So this is my finale speech. I just want to say thank you to everyone that joined in, even like one episode, or if you've been here since the beginning. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your listening ears. People really comment. I hope I did it justice in my reviews. I know, like, I was like honest on some of like the things that happened in the show, like my personal opinion. I mean, I want to be honest with what I think about certain scenes and what happened in the show from season 1 to 3. But it has been a blast. It has been a journey for myself. Dealt with a lot of drama with the copyright and the haters from season 1. I warned them. I'm like, I'm gonna do the show like equality, you know, like I'm gonna compare season 1 to 3, like go through every season and talk about it as it is. It sucks that Sydney died, but it is what it is, and I want to be grateful that we got 3 seasons of Sanditon instead of 1. You know, what happened, right? But I'm glad I did the show. I was a little bit, you know, hesitant. Like, it's a lot. It's time consuming. It's a lot to take time to film and to edit, re-edit, depending on how YouTube mood, if they want to give me a hard time or not. But I'm grateful to PBS for allowing me to upload these videos to the public with no restriction. I want every fan around the world to be able to just listen in and have this discussion and talk about this wonderful show. Sanditon. Any comment below, feel free. Like, I feel like no one like really comment. I hope I did well. But yeah, it was just a fun show to talk about, and I hope you enjoyed the Sandy Trail any comment, I'm open door, and if you give a like to this video, I appreciate it. Subscribe if you haven't, if you're interested in Went Heart to Heart, which will be coming on my channel September, I would say. I don't want to like give the exact date. I plan to film like the first 2 episodes of season 10 just to like have a head start, and then gonna roll it out on my channel in September. So keep an eye out if you're interested in that. If you want me to do Bridgerton on Netflix, I'm down with that. It's just the only thing is I'm not gonna do it until next year. So if you want to stick around for that, definitely subscribe to my channel and keep an eye out on that. Let me know if you guys are interested or in another show. I just like to have like a 2 show per year if possible. But yeah, just like another story. I mean, it's a planning stage. I'm like, what do I want to do with my YouTube channel other than Went Heart to Heart? But yeah, feel free to comment down below if you have anything to say. I hope I did this Sandy Trail Leash review justice. I try to be fair for each season and for every character, and I hope I did that really well. I hope you are doing well. I hope you are having a great summer. It's flying by so fast. I wish you the best, and hopefully see you around. Yeah, bye. Love this show. Kudos to the cast and crew of Sanditon. I truly enjoyed it, and thank you to you guys for listening in. Much love. Bye.